Moshen Mikey over here.
We got another episode of Moshmen Minutes for you.
Yeah, mini episode of today's current interesting news, music related.
And this week we have got Black Sabbath back to the beginning. So Ozzy announced that they were going to tour, which is basically one fucking day, one final show.
Yeah,
Yeah. So uh, it's probably because of his health. I'm kind of scrolling through. They've got the original guys. They've got Tony Iommi's coming back, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward, play for the first time in 20 years. Let's see. Yep, it's so performances from Black Sabbath, Ozzy, Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, Gojira, Hailstorm, Alice in Chains, Lamb of God, Anthrax, and Mastodon. And then they've got like a bunch of single people that's either going to probably join bands or something. You got Billy Corgan, David Draymond, Duff McKagan, Fred Durst, Lizzie Hale, Jakey Lee. That kind of got my interest going. Jonathan Davis from Korn, KK Downing, Mike Borden from Faith No More, Papa V Perpetua from Ghost, Rudy Sarzo, Sammy Hagar, Slash, Sleep Token 2, or II 2.
that's the drummer.
Okay. Uh, Tom Morello and Wolfgang Van Halen. So that's going on in Birmingham, UK. So
Yeah,
that was kind of a bit of news. What's your take on that, Mikey?
yeah, I'm over it. I mean, the last Black Sabbath show was supposed to be it, and now it's just another because they. I don't know if he got a guilty conscience about hosing Bill Ward the last time that he thought he needed to do something else, or it's one last mad dash for some cash. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I'm not interested in it. I mean, some of the stuff I've heard coming out of it, there's supposedly going to be a Tom Morello, Billy Corgan, and Danny Carey from Tool supposed to do like a side, like a I don't know, side project for that show. So that might be interesting to Smashing Pumpkins and Rage fans and stuff. But other than that, it's just like, yeah, it's the UK too. So I guess if it was closer to me, maybe it would be more interesting. But yeah, we've talked about it before. The bands that are done and they announce it's their last show and then they come back so many years later. I get it's Ozzy, but why I would have just done Ozzy solo if I was him to do that. It's his decision. I'm sure people still flock to it. I mean, it's
Well,
whatever.
I mean, I, I would, I would, I'm gonna probably look to see what tickets are just for a goof. I mean, I already started looking at airfare because I've never seen Black Sabbath, so I was
No,
interested enough to say, well, maybe let's kind of take a look at this and see what it'd be. I mean, it'd be a cool show, but you're talking flying over there and staying for maybe a day or two and then flying right back home. So I looked
yeah,
into
I
it.
would. That wouldn't be nothing I would be interested in. That's more your game there. I think it's just a I don't know. It's just a ploy. I just didn't think it was genuine. I think if you're gonna do that, just do it with you and just do one last show with Black Sabbath. But having everybody else and their brother join in, it's like a pat on
It
the
was
back for Ozzy.
the proceeds were supposed to go to a charity, so that was
Ah,
stipulated
okay.
in there. So I
That's
did,
that's that,
yeah.
that's something else. Yeah, that makes
So
it different
yeah,
for me. But
so it's going to be kind of a big event. So whatever. Like I
right,
said, I already closed out the article,
that's
but
fine. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
So it's for
it,
charity. It's a charity show.
Yeah, makes it more likable for me. Yeah, for a lot of reasons. Yeah, that does.
Okay.
But it just wouldn't be. I mean, UK right away. I'm not going to fly to England for it. But people like
Oh,
you might. Yeah,
I
people
might.
like you. I've seen Ozzy. I've seen Black Sabbath. So it's like it's not anything out of the ordinary for me, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we
Oh, the
got
Ginger album.
the Ginger
Yeah.
album dropped on Friday.
Yeah. And I mean, about four singles out of this had been released. I think at least four, maybe even the fifth one dropped right before the album. But just incredible for a Ginger fan. I mean, you got to kind of like Ginger, I guess, to really be over the moon. But I'm a pretty big Ginger fan. Probably, I think they're the best band on the planet. They're my favorite band of all time at this point. So, and it doesn't disappoint. I mean, it's 11 songs, 45 minutes or so, just perfectly beautiful execution. The songs were good, to great at points. I mean, the opening song will rip your face off like instantaneously.
Yeah.
It just starts with a bang and it goes into songs like Hedonist, which is the second song. And it was something about that that's got me on a loop. I don't know what it was about that specific song, but Rogue was a single that was released. It's good. Tumbleweed was one that surprised me with that name, but it was just killer. Just dominating. I mean, go. I want to go to every one because I don't want to review the album. But Green Serpent was one that's been released. So was Kafka. Those were already I knew were bangers. They gets into a song called Dark Bite and Dark Bile. I'm sorry, and it's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. Fast Draw was another. It's a awesome. Someone's Daughter was already out. A Tongue So Sly, that was the one that really caught me off guard. The name of the song compared to how just thunderous it is, and it ends. The album ends with Duel. And it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Nice.
And if you're, it's the best Ginger album I've heard. Yeah, it's by far the best album I've heard. And King of Everything was my gold standard, and it's right there. It's barely. I think in time it'll beat it, but King of Everything and it are right now even Steven. So definitely did not disappoint. They are only getting better. And just on a side note with Ginger, Tatiana is now hinting around about doing a solo project non-related to metal. So that could be very interesting.
Huh.
She could go into the pop world and make her money. I don't
Huh.
know. That's just that she's been talking about it. She was a big Offspring fan growing up and stuff like that. She wasn't always a giant metalhead. So it'd be interesting to see if she could pull off a Gwen Stefani kind of thing with
A crossover
a
in the
solo.
genres.
Well, if you look at a band like Poppy right now, she does that. She's a pop artist, but she also does songs with Knocked Loose and Bad Omens and Spirit Box. So that could be a very viable thing for Tatiana, and I know she could do it. I mean, she sings great without the guru voice. She still sings great. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be something to kind of watch for, I think. So,
Oh, nice.
but definitely 10 out of 10.
Okay. And our last little bit of stuff here is got the Deadlands and the Pretty Wild.
Yeah, the Pretty Wild. I'll be honest, I never heard of them. I had never heard of them. Maybe I'm out of the loop there. They're two exceptionally good looking women. Don't get me wrong. And with Casey Carlson, you can't really go wrong. She's like the newest queen of metal for me. I mean, for being what she is, 22. I think she's 22 years old to be as as good as Casey is.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. The song, well, how do you pronounce it? I can't really. Kundani, Kundanini. I don't know how to pronounce that so much, but because I don't really hear the name of the song in the song itself.
Yeah.
There is one cool part of the song where they say "bite me." I think it was kind of funny. Uh yeah, there's
Well,
some kind of
if
fast
you look down
rapping.
here, we're showing the video. We're showing a
Yeah.
little bit of the video. We're not
So
gonna
yeah,
play it yet.
very good looking women, of course, and they the music is killer. A little more keyboard stuff in it than I usually like, but anything with Casey Carlson, I'll give it a go for sure.
Well, yeah,
Um,
this song, they're kind of all over the place. I mean, I don't know the Pretty
yeah,
Wild. I don't know anything about them, but
it's a little
you can hear their voices mixing pretty good, and it's kind of got a techno feel to it,
yeah, it's very
industrial type shit going on.
yeah, it's chaotic. It's as chaotic as the video. The music is fitting for the video because it's kind of all over the place. But like I said, anything with Casey Carlson in it starts out at an 8 for me. So I'm going to say 8.5 on it for just the one time I've only heard it once. So I'm not going to say, oh, the keyboards killed it for me, or Casey, at one point she goes really low. I've never heard her do that before. So it was
Yeah,
kind of throwing me off a little bit, but it's Casey Carlson. I'm going to give it an 8 regardless. It's
yeah,
just, and I think the Pretty Wild, maybe I'll have to look into them more. I have never heard of them. So, yeah, the women in the metal are really coming on strong right now, dude. I mean,
yeah.
the
They're
women's
bringing their
fronted
fucking A
bands.
game here lately.
Yeah, I mean, you got these two today we just talked about with Ginger and Deadlands, which I call it Deadlands, but now we got the Pretty Wild we can look into, and Spirit Box with Courtney LaPlante. And another one, just and we're not going to talk about it much because I know we don't like to go long on the minutes, but the new song, the Solace in Silence by Not Enough Space, and I can't quit talking about this band. Not Enough Space is going to be huge. I just have a feeling. And the two girls singer, one does the clean more, one does the growling more. Liz and Livy, or Livy and Lizzie, I should say. Liv and Lizzie. There, I got it. But they're fun to watch. They dance, they get on. The music is heavy as shit, and when Liv does her screams, it's impressive. As I this, if you've never heard "Not Enough Space," check them out. Definitely, the Solace in Silence is the new one, but check their Spotify or Apple Tunes, whatever you got to do. They're badass. I love this band, and not just the girls, but the rest of the band. So they're up there with me in Deadlands, Ginger, Spirit Box territory. So just my 2 cents on that.
Cool beans. All right, I think that's about it, isn't it, Mikey?
Yeah, I think so. For the quick hitter stuff, we're good on the up and coming news.
All right, this is Skeet.
Mosh and Mikey,
See ya.
take care.